shloka number 23. Okay, and before we start, we offer our respectful obeisances unto the presiding deities of our temple, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। All right. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, entitled Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. So, Krishna has described knowledge in Sattva, Rajas, and Tamoguna. You would have heard that thus far. And now let us see as Krishna takes us through yet another section where he describes action in Sattvaguna, Rajaguna, and Tamoguna. All right, so let us take a look at shloka number 23. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Niyatam Sangarahitam Aragadveshata kritam afalaprepsuna karma yattat satvikamuchyate. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness. Okay, so I'm sure that after going through so many shlokas now on the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance, we may have realized one thing, that a few points or qualities are common in this mode of goodness. So, what are those? Okay, so for example, any actions that are performed in the mode of goodness would be without attachment to action or results. And the second would be without desire of or without expectation of fruitive activity. So the first would be without attachment to the action. The second would be without expectation of any results. Okay, so these are two things that we will see in the mode of goodness. And if we want to inculcate the mode of goodness, let us remember that there should be no attachment and no expectations. Okay, when we perform any actions at all. So, what are the actions that the Lord is speaking about here? What sort of actions? No attachment to what sort of actions? Okay. Regulated occupational duties as prescribed in the scriptures. So, this is what Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. Okay. So, activities in the mode of goodness, which is what we are speaking about in this shloka, those actions have to be in accordance with the scriptures. Okay, these activities cannot be whimsical, it should be prescribed. Okay, prescribed duties, prescribed by the scriptures. And more commonly known today, what is normally prescribed? Doctors usually prescribe medications, and we purchase medications and consume them according to the prescriptions that we receive from the doctors. Can we afford to be whimsical in our consumption of medications? We cannot. Correct? In the same way, we have to be very, very careful, and we have to act according to what is prescribed in the scriptures. Okay, so what is prescribed in the scriptures? The Varnashrama Dharma. Varna means Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra. That's the social status. And ashrama means Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So that's the spiritual status. Varna is the social status, and ashrama is the spiritual status in society. So the Shastras have given very clearly what should be the prescribed duty for both the combination of this social and spiritual status. Okay, so it is very nicely given in the scriptures what is supposed to be done. And when activities are done in accordance with varnashrama, then it is performed in the mode of goodness. Okay, so when we perform a duty, okay, we are just performing the duty without getting attached to it, or without feeling that we are the proprietor. That is in the mode of goodness. Okay, a person in the mode of goodness will just execute that particular action as a matter of duty. Okay, they will always be eager to render that duty without getting attached to the results. Okay, when we get attached to the results, then the problem arises. Okay, when we become attached, two things can happen. Okay, one is, for example, if I'm attached to a certain action or a certain work, okay, I may love some people or some action because it is favorable to me or to my sense gratification, or otherwise I may hate some people or some action because it is not favorable to my sense gratification. Okay, so then that becomes a challenge. But if I perform a duty without getting attached at all, then there is no issue of love or hatred, of getting attached or expecting anything out of that action. And this is called performing it in the mode of goodness without any attachment or expectation. Okay, so when a person is not attached to that action, okay, he doesn't feel that he is the proprietor, and such a person will be free from the feelings of love and hatred from that particular action. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada takes it further. He says in the purport that when an action is performed in Krishna consciousness for the Supreme Lord, okay, that is a Krishna conscious activity. So the mode of goodness is the prelude to Krishna consciousness. If we want to be very easily Krishna conscious, we have to situate ourselves in the mode of goodness. Because the mode of goodness and the mode of pure goodness or Krishna consciousness are very closely related. So Srila Prabhupada says, we should perform whatever actions for the satisfaction of Krishna. When we perform for His pleasure, it is very, very pure and on a very, very high level. Whatever action that we do, let us remember very importantly that it should be performed for the pleasure of Krishna. This point of giving pleasure to Krishna is very, very important in a devotee's life. Okay, initially we may do things for our satisfaction, but as we progress in our devotional service, we try to center our activities around the pleasure of Krishna. For example, a pure devotee, everything that he does, he thinks, if I do this, how will it benefit the Lord? How will this activity that I do give pleasure of the Lord? How can I do it so that it pleases the Lord? Okay, what happens is, if I'm Krishna conscious or if I'm a devotee, it means that I am a servant and I want to please my master. Okay, and I always think of how I can render service to my master to give him pleasure. All right, because let me share with you a secret. When the master is pleased, the servant is automatically pleased. Okay, so one of our devotees gives a very nice example that if a driver is driving his master, and if the master is seated in front and the driver is seated behind, then, and the master requests the driver to switch on the AC in the car, and the driver switches on the AC. The master is feeling pleased, but at the same time, the driver who has obeyed the master is also feeling pleased. So both of them are receiving pleasure from that action. Similarly, when we serve the Lord, okay, and when we please the Lord, when the Lord is pleased, automatically we also become pleased and blissful and happy. And the devotional service that we render to the Lord should be unmotivated. Okay, we should not have any motivation for any self interest. So in that way it should be unmotivated and it should be uninterrupted. Okay, in this way, when we render such service to Krishna, we will become situated not just in the mode of goodness, but in the mode of pure goodness. Okay, so a couple of things that we can take away today. In order for our actions to be in the mode of goodness, okay, let us not have any attachment to them or any expectation from them. Okay, and whatever service that we perform to the Lord, let it be unmotivated and uninterrupted. And in this way, we can very quickly achieve the mode of goodness and consequently the mode of pure goodness or Krishna consciousness. So, thank you very much. I hope all of you have a blissful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Done
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Dandavat
Mataji.
Thank you
Pranam to
very
all
much,
of you.
Mataji.